Hey guys, how's it going? Another non-edited video that I'm gonna just blab. It's been a long time since I talked to you guys. Um, what's been going on? I've learned a ton of stuff. A lot of it isn't teachable in that it's not. You can't be just taught it. You have to journey to it. So you have to be brought to it by the source. It's not something that can be forced on anybody. Um, but it's amazing, and it's something we can show in our lives. You can live in that way, and people will just see it and help their journey that way through the progression of your own life. And also, you can still talk about it's not something that you can go to a guru for, but something that you can find the right people once you're in the right stage. Um, Carl Jung and Alan Watts always talk about, and especially Alan Watts always talks about, you're in the right place in your life, and you always have been. You're in the stage that you have to be in order to get to the goal, or possibly you haven't even started. If you read The Alchemist, your life has a journey on it, it has a goal, but we can choose not to do it. If there's something in your heart that you can't really shake, something that's been there 10 years, and it's crazy and you shouldn't do it, but it always comes back. You push it out of your mind, and it's like, no, I can't really do that, that this, that, the other, whatever excuses and reasons that you have not to do it. That's your goal. That's your real journey. That's your soul pulling you towards it. And I'm not just talking about the books that I've read and stuff like that. This is coming right from my life. If you knew my entire journey, what's led me up to this, it'd blow your mind. It blows my mind. Um, we don't test God. That's in the Bible. You don't test God. But try listening. It's confusing because you are testing if there's a God. Some part of you is putting that to the test, but you're also just obeying God. God is in all of us. The Bible talks about he's cut a piece of wood and he's there, lift a rock and he's there. Well, he's inside you as well. It's inside of me. He was inside of Jesus. The Gnostic God isn't the same God that the Christians have. It is the Jesus. It is partially that same God that you're taught about, but just a piece of God. It isn't fully God. he isn't fully God. It is God just as much, or probably more than you and I. There is that essence of God in him. There has to be. He's consciousness and creator. So obviously that creator God is part of the real God that's inside of you. Think of it as the Holy Ghost, if that's how you need to think of it. Like, that's the third part. It's that essence that's inside. Just different. It's a higher essence. And you got to read a lot of other books in order, you got to get into forbidden books that you're told not to get into. The Gnostic writings are shot down by theologians and by Christianity and by science, I guess, as well. The religion of atheism or man or whatever the hell you want to call it, globe logic kind of thing, that this writing wasn't canon. So it's not really real, or we can't prove it, or like the Book of Enoch, where they just push it away. But the Gnostic things, they burned and destroyed and killed people, and there was a whole thing to get rid of it. And then the books were found. Now, there is discrepancies in the different preachers, I guess, of Gnosticism, that how the books were found. They're really similar. It's like he was digging in his field and he found these books, or he was digging in a cave and found these books, and he sold them to, or he did this with them, he kept them for years and then sold them, didn't know what he had, and he was burning them and all this other shit. So there's different slight narratives, though they're all the same. It's just because he was digging in the cave for fertilizer, and it was probably on his field. So a lot of writers will say he was digging in his field, and it makes it sound like he was, putting in the garden, whereas others say he was in a cave and he was hunting or whatever. Anyways, he finds it different ways, but he always finds it, and then it all stays consistent after that. And the books themselves have obviously been translated and studied, and I'm sure there was things lost in translation and whatever, just like the real Bible, what you guys call real, or most people, and maybe you're already Gnostic. You might even know more than I do. Who knows? I hope that you are, and that you do, and that you comment about it, because I would love to learn more. I'm just coming to this new understanding of everything over the last years, but I mean, whatever. It's you never know everything. How about that? And you can never know enough. The Bible says that his people will suffer and die for a lack of knowledge. Everybody dies. So he obviously didn't mean death, normal, and a lot of people suffer in their death, but I don't think that's what he means by suffering either. Suffering means if you seek the knowledge and understood and kept an open mind and an open heart. The Bible also says only a fool makes up his mind before he hears of a thing. So you don't want to be a fool, and you need to look at both sides of everything. The Bible also talks about that, where it says, I'm drawing a blank on it. Anyway, whatever. I think I didn't draw a blank. I think I already said it. Anyhow, we need to look at both sides with an open mind and an open heart, and always be ready for new information, and always be seeking information. And then suffering and dying, you won't suffer. Your life will be blessed. Not that there won't be any suffering, like even right now I got pulled muscle in my leg. There's going to be suffering, but your life won't be a suffering. You won't be drugged down by everything that's going on in the world right now. We could look at it just financially, or however you want to look at it. Divorces, problems, all these things that go on, death, and all this other stuff, sicknesses in your own body. There's still going to be all that. And other people, and some of them that you love, are going to suffer and die because they don't accept the knowledge. And you're going to see that suffering. But it'll work out to your benefit. Or with death, it'll make you stronger, I guess. And there's very little that can be said about that, obviously. Anyhow, babbling on. See, this is why I should edit my little dumb breaks. Just pretend I did. Click. New phrase. So I guess what I'm trying to say is look into Gnosticism. Read the Pistis Sophia, the Forbidden Book of John, the Gospel of Philip, even Judas, especially Judas. Mary Magdalene, especially Mary Magdalene. It's all so important, and it's so much deeper. And it brings all of what, like, I look into Alan Watts, I look into other religions, I look into all these different things that I like to study and learn about. And they all weave to this. They all, manifesting and even manifesting can be explained because of the different functions of our brain, where you have your right side and the left side, and then your pineal gland, which is the communicator between the two. And the left side is your subconscious. Or no, sorry, the right side is your subconscious. The left side is your conscious. So when your conscious mind says things like you're broke, or sings negative songs all the time with negative connotations, then your subconscious hears that and says that's what you want. And so then when you're faced with a decision, subconsciously you make a bad decision to bring you to the life that you want. And so saying things to your mind properly you can manifest those things. Well, you're actually changing the programming of your brain so that your subconscious is making choices to benefit your life rather than cause negative. And then Alan Watts and Carl Jung talk about it differently, and then the Sang Sung and the Five Swords talk about it differently again. And there's all these different books and different thought processes, but they always come to the same conclusion, just in different ways that they get led there. It's like there's 6,000 stories for Noah's flood throughout cultures all over the world, and so you can come at the same conclusion through many, many, many sources. So it's just, well, it's just fascinating, but it just shows you what's true as well, because if you look to them all, they're all different, but they all have these similarities that lead you to one conclusion, that there was a worldwide flood and only one family survived. Now, some stories it wasn't worldwide, it was local, it was this, it was that, there was different things on it. But the big thing is, most of them, what do most of them all say? Like the ones that say it was just a localized flood, still a flood, and there was only one family, and they were put on an ark by a god, and all that stuff. And those are the fringe ones. The most of them say it was a worldwide, and the most of them say that and they all say that there was a flood, and there was only one family. So, okay, let's see what most of them are all saying that's the same. Put that together, and that's where the truth is. And all the things where they say things are different, you can say, okay, well, only one guy says this, only two guys say that, where 30 of them or 50 of them or hundreds of them all say this. So this is more likely to be in the truth category, where the one story isn't all truth. Pretty neat stuff. Anyway, I think I might have gotten enough out of my system. I'm trying to help someone on their journey right now, and it's hard to not say everything. You want to say everything all at once, and not stop. Like, just spam them with information, all this stuff that you know. And it's part of our calling to want to. It's right in humans, and it doesn't matter which story it is that you're following, or religion, or whatever. All of them have a drive to share that, which is one of those common things that we can look at and say is true, because it goes so far as some religions say that kill everybody that won't believe, and you can kind of discern that those ones are wrong. But anyway, it is very hard to not just blab on about everything. So figured I'd do a YouTube video. You guys are my therapy to help me to just calm down. It's better to give just a little seed. I said this in other videos. You put 20 seeds in one hole, and you're not going to get a plant at all. Everything's going to kill everything. They're all going to fight for the same resources. So you only put one seed in one hole, and then you leave it to God and nature, and that takes over, blooms that seed, and then it gives you fruit. So a lot of times, if you can plant one seed and then wait, um, then you'll get them to come back, and they'll ask questions, and then you can start to plant multiple seeds. But you got to cultivate your field first, I guess. So you just get it ready, right? And just let them see your life. That would be your cultivating the field, where people can just observe the way you live and be like, that's different. And then they'll ask you a question, or something will come up, and they'll be like, you don't, whatever, and start asking little questions on that, and then be driven to more. And then you get your opportunity, sort of, to start your seed planting. Then you plant your one seed, you let that grow, and then they come back with more in-depth questions, and they want to know more and more and more, and then you save somebody. You've led that horse to water. You've cultivated the field, planted the seed, let nature take its course, let the season happen on that seed, and then you're able to plant a bigger field. Speaking of which, I'm finally starting my own commune. Like I said, my life's been, if you knew it, you would know that there's no doubt that there's a God. So, and it all started by listening to that voice that I was talking about, that drive that I was talking about, that thing that just always pops back up in your mind, and you tell yourself, no, that's not right, you can't do that, or whatever, and then repress it, and then it pops back in, and then it pops back in, and that's your story, that's your life, that's God telling you this, try it, do it. It don't have logic about it. Take that first step out into faith, whatever it is. Obviously, yours is not going to be the same as mine. Anyhow, I've started my commune. I've got the first piece of land. I've got living quarters on it. Driveways in mostly. I got to get a couple more loads of fill and tweak things up a little bit. I've been cutting trees and getting things ready. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. It's too small for what I want to do, but got to start somewhere. And it is, over 2 acres, so it's not horrible size, and it's manageable for me by myself until I find my tribe. Might have even found another member to the tribe, and I've got a couple that I still talk to that love the dream and the thought behind it, and all of Linger Longer. You can look it up in my videos if you've never heard of it, if you're someone new. But it's Linger Longer Mental Health Farm and Off-Grid Community Living that also runs a herbal pharmacy called Needful Things. Right now it's nothing, just up here, but soon it will be out here, it will be in the world. Definitely sooner than it's ever been before. So all I got to do now is be patient, live in the moment, have faith, and just keep walking my path. And I was talking about that earlier too, where you just have faith, know it. And I don't know if I talked about it quite enough at the start of the video, but I'm going to just step out into that life, put your faith in God, know that you're going to be looked after no matter what, even if it's the wrong choice, or even if you can't fill it out and walk it totally, you're going to be fine. I don't want to talk too much about my particular path because it was my particular path and yours is going to be so different or so the same. But I don't want to influence you to think that there's a path. There isn't a path. There's your path. Like Alan Watts and Karl Marx always say. Mostly Alan Watts, I think. You're in the right moment for this moment. And there's only this moment. Your past is gone. Your future is not guaranteed and is not here. You're only living right now. That's it. Now, that doesn't mean don't plan for the future. Don't think about the future, but don't dwell on the future. Don't stress about it. It's there, but it isn't here. So I guess it's a fine line where I don't want to say don't prepare for the future. Think about it, prepare for it, but don't dwell on it. And that's all through scriptures as well. But I think Alan Watts says it best, preferably. Again, you got to look at both sides of everything. I've even looked into Satanism, not very deeply, but enough that I understand it. You got to know your enemy and be prepared with whatever, because if you don't, you're vulnerable. Opportunities come up that are from God, and opportunities come up that are not from God, and you need discernment in order to recognize where an opportunity is from. And in order to have discernment, you can't rush into things. So it's best that you put off that idea for the last 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is, because you need to know that it's real. It would be great if you knew that right away, and you do way down. It's just without experience with it, it's hard to totally to decide. So you need to look at both parts of everything. Don't be a fool. Be a wise, knowledged person. You don't want to suffer for your lack of knowledge. And so Satan offers you things that seem great and seem like they could be from God, but calmly walk into them. Think about it. Look it over. Look at the ins and outs of things, who it's from, what they're all about, because you can pick wrong opportunities, wrong paths along your trail. It's also fascinating. I hope that some of you get it, that you've gotten it, that you understand this at all, and that it's helped, really. And if not, well, at least I got it off my chest a little bit, and maybe I can walk into this new uh, relationship in calm, stillness, and be patient. So, anyway, God bless you all. Know that He's inside you and you're already blessed. You just need to live that blessing and have faith in yourself and in that God. Know that you have what Jesus had. It's right there. Put your hand there. You can feel it. Think about it and feel it at the same time. It's there. Right there is where you connect to it. Put your finger there. Feel that pineal gland. It's right there. It doesn't just connect the two sides of your brain. It connects the two sides of your brain with your light, with your consciousness. If God is consciousness and you have consciousness, you are God. Or you have God in you. So, anyway, blessings.